Good morning, everybody. It's Justice for Comics. It is Sunday morning. It's a little early. I don't expect anybody to pop in on my live stream here. I'm up early. My daughter had a birthday party yesterday, and as you can see, she turned 11 behind me there. So yeah, she had a nice time. A lot of her girlfriends came over and spent the night. So before everybody starts getting up, I figured I'd take a few minutes to do the CovrPrice top 20 list, kind of highlight that. I got that email. I didn't get the email until late yesterday. So yeah, normally I get it late Friday, sometimes Saturday morning. So I don't know what happened there. I don't know if it was my email system was flawed or if they were delayed in sending it out. But hey, welcome, Marcus. Good morning. As I said, I don't think there's going to be too many people joining this chat. This is pretty early. This is 8:20 my time, Eastern Standard Time. So it's going to be pretty darn early for most people. But let's jump into it. But before I do that, I'll show a book I got in the mail yesterday. I did get X-Men #4, the Shannon Mayer variant, the set. So that's the Virgin copy, limited to 1,000, I believe. And then there's the trade dress. The Virgin does come with the COA, so it is a numbered COA out of 1,000. Just one of the best Shannon Mayer variants, I think. I mean, he did an awesome job on that one. The Gamora one I ordered as well. I mean, he's just pumping these out. The Gamora one looks really, really good too. So this one I just got in the mail yesterday, and real happy with it. Good looking cover. All right, let's jump into it here. We'll jump on my email that I got from CovrPrice. Make sure I share my screen. Morning, Grandmaster Stash. Morning, Malcolm. Make sure I got that. Okay. All right, so weekend review, weekending, what was it, January 24th. Starting off with number 20 on the list is New Mutants #1 from 1983. CGC 98 just sold around $100. That's a book that is starting to slowly creep up. It's fairly hard, I would think, at this point to find it raw condition, too much under $25. I mean, I think 25 to 30 seems to be the average price for that, depending on condition. Yeah, so first, it's not the first appearance of the team. Obviously, that happened in that graphic novel, the New Mutants graphic novel that came out prior, but it is the first ongoing series for the New Mutants. So yeah, it's not. I wouldn't consider it anywhere near a major key. Definitely a minor key. It's a cool book to have in your collection, especially if you got it a reasonable deal on it. So technically, I think it's considered the second appearance of the New Mutants. First appearance being that 84 graphic novel. It's a magazine sized. Yeah, that book's first print in high grade is really, really expensive, tough to find. So that was a book that I got basically for free. I don't know, it was a couple of years ago. I bought a pretty decent book, I mean, fairly expensive book, and the seller was kind enough to send me a couple freebies, and that New Mutants #1 was a freebie, and it's super high grade too. So it's kind of cool that he did that. So once in a while, you score a nice free comic book without having to pay for it. So nothing beats that. Number 19 on the list is Amazing Fantasy 15, the facsimile variant. So obviously, most of us cannot afford the original Amazing Fantasy 15, even in very low grade. That's an expensive comic book. What's that famous picture of that guy that there's a comic book collector out there. I think he lives out west, maybe in Colorado. I can't remember his name, but man, I remember seeing a photo of him holding up 3 copies of Amazing Fantasy 15, and I think every one of them was like a 7.5. He had like 3 7.5s, crazy, which is tremendous money. But the guy had been collecting all his life. He'd been collecting 60 years or something. He's an older guy too. So, yeah, probably bought that comic book back in the day, or bought it over the years when it was a lot cheaper. But I'm old enough to remember a high grade copy of that. Maybe back in the early mid 80s, when I was sort of paying attention a little bit to comic books. You look at price guides, you could probably get an Amazing 15 in high grade in the subpar below 5,000 range back then. I don't know. You hear stories from people saying, "Yeah, I remember seeing one for $1,500 in high grade, and I thought that was ridiculously expensive." Now it's that's hundreds of thousands of dollars now. So it's like a lot of things. If you something marquee like that is only going to go up over time, I would imagine. Number 18 on the list is New Mutants 18 from 1984. The book's pulling back a little bit here. The significance of that book, I believe that is the first appearance of 2 characters, Warlock and also Demon Bear. So you got a twofer on that book. That's a book that, there's enough of them for sale on eBay. Just be patient on it. I think, if you really want to own that book, wait a few weeks. I definitely think you could see the price decline a little bit on that. So I don't think I own that in my collection either, but I don't know that Demon Bear is all that important of an appearance, but Warlock, I think Warlock's kind of a cool character. I could see why having that in your collection as a first appearance would be valuable. So that's a book that keep your eye out for it. High grade is going to be a little harder. It's kind of a darker, like a dark blue color cover, so it's a little harder to find in high grade. Number 17 on the list is Uncanny X-Men number 160. This is the first adolescent Ilana Rasputin. So that's like the earliest appearance of the character. She's obviously not magic at that point. 7-day trend is up 85%. A 9.8 just sold for $160. So you might be able to find a raw copy of that in pretty good shape. I've looked online, and I think $25 to $30 in sort of high mid-grade is pretty attainable. If you're looking for, super high grade, you're gonna, it's an older book, 1982. Yeah, I mean it's up there in age, right? So it's going to be a little bit harder to find that in super high grade. Number 16 on the list is Amazing Spider-Man 102, second appearance of Morbius. It also has the 6-arm version of Spider-Man. 7-day trend up 120%. And 8.0s just sold for $155. I know my man Marcus picked like a 9.0 up for around that price, so I know he got a really good deal on this. It's a cool looking cover. I love the blue border on it. And you got Morbius on the cover. It's sort of his, you're seeing the back of him. Obviously, you don't really see a full front. Like, it's not obviously as attractive as 101 being the first appearance, and he's fully on the cover. Full front on the cover. On the 102, you sort of see the backside of him, but it is his second appearance, so it is a marquee book to have. Yeah, I would imagine after the movie comes out, maybe you'll see prices settle back down a little bit. But right now, man, yeah, you're going to pay top dollar for that book, no doubt about it. So that was number 16 on the list. Let me check back into the chat, see if anybody else joined us. Yeah, I agree, Marcus. I love those Mare covers, but man, he just keeps pumping them out. It's like can't stop buying them. He's killing my pocketbook. Um, all right, nice. Craig 69 AF15 facsimile sketch cover in a spider booth box. Nice. That's a good pull right there. Grandmaster Stash. Yeah, maybe that's the guy I was thinking of. Chuck Rozanski of Mile High. It was either him. There was this other guy that's also been collecting it forever, and he owned a couple comic book shops, but it wasn't Mile High. I know Mile High. If you want to see a really cool YouTube video, check out Kevin Smith does a tour of the Mile High comic book where it's basically a huge warehouse. And, I don't know how many millions of comic books are in that warehouse, but it's undisputed. It's the largest collection of comic books in the world by far, I think, is Mile High. So it's a pretty cool video. So check that out sometime. I think you'll find it interesting. All right. Let's see here. Let me go back to the list. Number 15 on the list, Marvel Superheroes Secret Wars #1 from 1984. 9.8. It just sold for $142. So the rumor is they're going to be coming out maybe with a movie highlighting the story of the Secret Wars. I don't know if that's confirmed or not. I think that's just a rumor at this point, but it is moving the price on that book, and it's well deserved. It's an old book. It's sort of a classic. A lot of collectors from the 80s definitely remember that series. So I think there's always going to be attention. Obviously, issue number 4? No, I'm sorry, it's not. Number 8. Excuse me, number 8. With the Spider-Man's donning the new suit. That obviously is the book that everybody looks for. But yeah, number 1 is still a good book to have, and you can find that. I think you can still find a raw copy fairly inexpensively. So that might be a good book to hunt down if you can. Number 14 on the list is Amazing Spider-Man 252. First black costume symbiote in the Spider title. Also Marvel Team Up 141. I think that's coincides around the same time. 9.8 just sold for $530. That's a pretty good price. Yeah, I mean, it's a classic cover in the black costume on the cover. Definitely a cool book to have. I don't have that in my collection. Yeah, maybe one day I'll pick one up. I mean, I know you can find it under $100 pretty easily. I'd like to get it around $50 to $60 on high grade if I could. That would be a good price for it. But yeah, it looks like when you go on eBay, you can several listings around that $65 to $75 range in high grade. So not a super expensive book, but definitely a very recognizable cover. So good book to have in your collection. Number 13 on the list is Incredible Hulk 181. First full appearance of Wolverine. Obviously, one of the most important Bronze Age book by far, or at least one of the most expensive, is that 181. And there was a recent sale of a CGC 9.6 for $12,300. So of course that stabs me in the heart because I used to own that book in a 9.6 CGC graded with white pages. So yeah, sold it for about what did I sell it for? A little over $5,000, and that was 13 years ago. I sold it. So yeah, one of the big regrets of my life was selling that comic book. Obviously, I knew the book was going to continue to go up in price, but it sat there forever in that $4,000 to $5,000 range. I mean, it was probably 2 or 3 years where it just sat there. It easily, maybe 4 years, where it sat there in that $4,000 to $5,000 range, didn't really move much. And then all of a sudden, the movies came out, and the book started moving up in price. And now it's just crazy price. $12,000 is crazy. So I don't know if I'll ever own that book again, at least probably not a 9.6. I'd be happy with a 9.0, which would still cost quite a bit of money, but yeah, I don't have the mindset that, oh, I've got to own that in a 9.6. But yeah, 9.0 copy would be pretty nice. I wouldn't mind that. Number 12 on the list is Firestorm number 1. Rumors of a possible Firestorm DC film featuring Ronnie Raymond. So that issue is the first appearance. 9.2 just sold for $60. That book's a little hard to find in high grade. I've looked at buying that book in the past. I'd like to get that one, and also what is it, number 3, first appearance of Killer Frost. So I would like to get the first issue of Firestorm from '78, and then also get that Killer Frost, which I think was number 3. Those are tough books to find in high grade, though. I don't know. Late '70s. I don't know. It's a tough book to find in good grade, but the search continues. Yeah, those are 2 books that I would love to pick up at some point. Number 11, Spider-Man number 76 from 1997. First appearance of Loxious Crown, aka Hunger. All right. Looks like raws are hitting $20, so that might be a book that you might have in your collection. Might be worth pulling out, maybe selling. Number 10 on the list, Morbius, The Living Vampire number 1 from 1992. Yeah, this was a dollar bin book not too long ago. Then the rumors of the movie coming out started to heat up that book, and now I would say it's raw copy. What is that, a $10, $15 book maybe? There's some listings in fair condition around 10 to $15. So yeah, I mean, that's not a book that I don't think it's really. They printed a crap load of those books. That was the Midnight Suns series, so there was a lot of printings of that. I don't think that's a real hard book to find. You could probably get that under $15 pretty easily. So that might be one to look for. Number 9 on the list, Savage She-Hulk number 1 from 1980. Obviously, the reason that book has been on the move for the last year has been the Disney Plus show that's going to be coming out, live action. Be interesting to see what that looks like. High grade, it's a tough book. It's a white cover, classic key book to have in your collection. I have a copy, but it's definitely lower grade. Again, it was a freebie. Some guy threw it in when I bought some other comic books. So, the good news is I didn't pay anything for it. Bad news is it's not high grade, and I don't know, at this point, trying to find a high grade copy of that, yeah, it's going to cost a little bit of coin. Number 8 on the list is Eternals number 1. This is the 2006 version. Eternal characters Gelt and Morjack first appeared in this issue, and it is rumored that they will be in the upcoming MCU film. So they're borrowing plot points from that series. 9.8 just sold for $100. So, that might be a book I had in my collection. I think I sold it for a little bit of money, but probably should have held it, I guess. It was kind of a cool cover. I didn't like the interior artwork. It's John Romita Jr. I'm not a big fan of his artwork. It's a Neil Gaiman story. There is a sketch version of that, a sketchbook version that I don't think goes for as much money, but yeah, it's a cool looking book. Kind of regret selling it, but oh well. You can pick it up for around $15, so it's not super expensive at this point, but looks like 9.8s are on the move, around $100. Number 7 on the list, Peter Parker, Spider-Man number 4. There's a couple first appearances. Hunger, first appearance of Hunger. Although, didn't it just say that Spider-Man 76 was the first appearance? I don't know. There's a little confusion there. I don't know which one's first. So they're both, CovrPrice is saying they're both first appearances. It's also the cameo and first appearance of Morrow. She's on the cover. Raws are going for around $11. Yeah, I mean, late 90s book. This was heavily printed. I don't think you'll have a hard time finding it. But it could be one that could see some further movement. Number 6 on the list is Eternals number 1 from 1976. This is the original Kirby comic book. 9/8 are selling around $1,000. I think that's down a little. I think several months ago I was seeing sales in that $1,200 to $1,500 range for 9/8 on that book. So I think you're seeing the price drop a little bit, which is pretty interesting. The trailer hasn't even dropped yet, so I don't know. Maybe you'll see it jump up when the trailer hits, but I don't know. That's a dangerous spec. I don't think I would spec on that, but yeah, it could be one of those deals where you pick it up for $1,000, the trailer drops, and boom, it goes back up to $1,500, and you can make a nice little profit on that. I don't know, but little expensive for me to speculate on. Number 5 on the list is Ultimate Fallout number 4. Key book, Miles Morales' first appearance. Yeah, I think that's a book that's always going to have a pretty high value to it. 9/8 are selling around $370. Raws are around that probably $110, $120 range. I was lucky. I picked that up before the first movie, Edge of Spider-Verse, came out. Picked that up for around $40. I got a pretty good deal on it. But for a long time, that was like a $10, $15 book for a long time. So, patience pays. It's good to see that book still moving up. And of course, the Spider-Verse 2 movie will be out, I think, later this year. So that will probably drive sales of that book even higher. Number 4 on the list, Amazing Spider-Man 101, first appearance of Morbius. The trailer dropped. I thought the trailer was pretty good. High-grade books of this are going to keep moving. Looks like a 9.0 sold for $1,280. If I go on eBay right now, there's a second print 9/8 for $250. Very nice. There's a 7.0 for $1,000. There's a 7.0 for $600. Yeah, it's a tough book to find in high grade. A lot of 3s, a lot of 4s, 6.5, 8.0 for $1,050. I think that's the highest grade I've seen so far, is an 8.0. Yeah, that seems to be it. I picked up that second print really cheap about a week and a half ago. I picked that up for like $30, and it's in high grade. I mean, I think it would grade at either 9.6 or 9.8, one of the two. But yeah, you're seeing a lot of second prints for sale, but not, yeah, first print and high grade seems to be elusive. I don't see anything higher than an 8.0 right now on eBay, but yeah, if that was a book that you really, really wanted to buy, you also check out Comic Link. They sell, there's an 8.5. 8.5 seems to be the highest for $1,300. That's a signature series with Roy Thomas and John Romita. Yeah, 7.5s, a lot of 7.5s. Another 8.5, and that's a pretty good deal. 8.5 with white pages for only $1,200. That seems like a good deal. White pages, that's a pretty good find. Yeah, definitely. There's a 9.0 for $1,500, so 9.0 seems to be the highest I've seen. So, there's a 9.2, a 9.2 for $1,975. Wow. Yeah, I mean, that movie. If it's good, the price is probably going to go higher. So I wouldn't be surprised if you see a little higher price on that book. But that was a book, again, 4 or 5 years ago, you could have picked up for fairly inexpensively, not too expensive. Number 3 on the list, Avengers 133. It says there's a whole lot of firsts in this issue. The first origin of the Kree, the first origin of the Mantis, the first origin of Vision, and the first appearance of the Kotati, who are rumored to play heavily in the upcoming Empire Marvel series. So raws are around $40. That seems pretty reasonable. Yeah, it's got a white cover. It might be a little difficult to find in high grade, but 1975, it's definitely an old book. Let's see if there's any on eBay right now. Yeah, I mean, I think you can get it in that $15 to $20 range pretty easily. There's a couple for sale around that $10 range with shipping. I don't know what condition, you'd have to check out the condition got to be careful on that. That might be a difficult book to find on high grade just because of that white border cover. So that might be one to look for, especially in back issue bins. Who knows? That might be laying around at your LCS waiting for you to grab it. Number 2 on the list is Star Wars: The Rise of Kylo Ren, number 1. This book's been hot for a couple weeks now. Raws are hitting, looks like $40 for the standard cover. There's a couple incentive covers on that. I think there's like a 1 for $25 that also goes for pretty high money. 9.8 just sold for $130. So that book's been on the rise pretty strongly here. Also, number 1 on the list is Star Wars: The Rise of Kylo Ren, number 2. Standard cover, selling around $20. So yeah, there's your top 20 list. I don't see much different. I think the Eternals is the only thing I see on there that wasn't on there from last week, and also that Avengers 133. So, and then also Spider-Man, a couple Spider-Man issues involving that character, Loxious Crown. I don't know if she's supposed to be appearing in a. It says she will be played by Matt. Loxious Crown will be played by Matt Smith. I thought it was a female character. I guess not. It's a male character by Matt Smith in the Sony film. And he'll become hungry, though collectors are preparing for if he does. All right, so I guess that's new on the list from what I didn't see from the week before. All right, who we have in the list here or in the stream? Malcolm says when he goes to New York, I'll visit family. I'll say hello to Midtown for you. Yep. Say hello to him. Appreciate that. Hey, Brandon, what's up, my friend? Oh, there you go. Malcolm got to see Mile High Comics. That's cool. Immortal Biggie Shack, what's going on, my friend? Yeah, Immortal Biggie Shack says, yeah, it's overrated. It is overrated, but who still wouldn't want to have a 181 in their collection? It's still a marquee book, no doubt about it. But yeah, I mean, $12,000, that's a down payment on a house or something. Yeah, it's a lot of money. There's a lot more I could do with $12,000, but yeah, it does hurt when I see the prices on that book now. But oh well, what are you gonna do? Superhero reviews. What's up, my friend? Bake the Snakes in the house. And we got Hunter Thompson. Yeah. Just wanted to show off that top 20 list from CovrPrice. That's kind of all I had to share. There is a book that I did pick up last night. I think it might still be for sale. I'll just check real quick. There was an Esteban Salinas variant. I think it's still for sale. Yep. God Killers #1. This is a book coming out. I believe the release date is in a couple of weeks. I think it's coming out pretty soon. Well, okay. I think ship date says I think it's a February book, February 19th. God Killers #1. This is a book from Aftershock Comics. The premise of the book is Abdul Al-Zared is an Arab-American folklore professor turned soldier whose fear of death stems from an uncertainty about the existence of an afterlife. Then he joins the God Killers, a special forces unit tasked with fighting insurgents who use mythical creatures as weapons of mass destruction. Now that he knows that the supernatural exists, he'll have to decide which is worse, death or the nightmarish monsters he thought were mere legends. The writer is Mark Sable. His previous acknowledgments are Grounded, Fearless, and Supergirl. and newcomer artist Main House. Man, it's got an interesting name. Main, M-A-A-N House. So, I'm interested in picking that up. You can get the Esteban Salinas cover for $20. I think it's a good deal because, first of all, it's limited to only 200 copies, so it's a very low print run. Obviously, if this series takes off, I would imagine the lowest print run will garner the most value. So, and it's a cool looking cover. So, yeah, buy what you love, and I love this cover, so that's one of the reasons I purchased it. I have no idea if the series will be a hit or not. Most independent titles, what's the odds? 1 out of 10 maybe end up being kind of hot, where there's some value. So not the greatest track record, independent books, but once in a while they hit, and it sounds like the story is pretty good. So it is still for sale. That went on for sale last night at 8:30 p.m. I have a feeling it will sell out in the next few days. 200 is pretty low. So Black Cape does some fairly good promotion, usually through Instagram and Facebook. So that's usually how they sell a lot of their books, and obviously their website too. But yeah, I'm mentioning it. I sometimes there's a few YouTubers that might mention it. It's possible Jim's Comics will mention it. If he mentions it, it'll probably sell out really quick because he's got so many subscribers. But yeah, to me, it's a nice looking book. I love Esteban Salinas' artwork, so that's one that I'm going to pick up, or that I did pick up last night. Immortal Bean Shack. I got more books on top 20 after I quit carrying than I used to watch. Immortal Bean Shack, man, he's got some good books in his collection, no doubt about it. All right, guys, that is all I had for you. I probably will be on again either Tuesday or Wednesday. Wednesday will be my new comic book video show where I highlight books that are coming out for the next week. So look for that. But I might do another stream if there's any comic book news that's worth mentioning. That's kind of all I had for this morning. I can't believe I have 12 people actually watching on 8:50 in the morning on a Sunday. It's crazy. I appreciate everybody that tuned in. Yeah, leave me some comments. Maybe there's something else that you guys want me to do a show on. I'd love to do that. Love suggestions. But look for my next show in the next few days. Hope everybody has a great Sunday and a great weekend, and I'll see you soon.